Hi guys, before we go too far into the review, just a quick update on this one. Okay, so I've done this little snippet after I finished the video. You'll hear me reference that this kit came out in 1990. That's what ScaleMates said originally. Little bit of digging myself. The copyright on the box is 95. The copyright on the instructions is 1995. Some of the sprues are copyrighted 1987. The other half of the sprues are copyrighted 1995. This kit came out in 1995, and therefore the ScaleMates entry was incorrect. I have since updated that myself to read 1995. So whenever you hear me say 1990, that's wrong. 1995 for this kit. Okay. Anyway, let's carry on and see the review. Hi guys, and welcome to another kit review. Okay, so today, as you can see, we're doing a kit from Tamiya in 1/35 scale. It is their US medium tank M4 Sherman, early production. Okay, so what you see is an early production Sherman. It has the retrofitted and factory fitted armor plates to prevent projectiles from entering the fighting compartment and killing the crew. You also get crew figures with this, and also accessories such as jerry cans, spare wheels, spare track to put on top of the front or wherever. Okay, so this kit came out in 1990. I believe there were 5 or 6 previous issues of different versions of the Sherman, starting back in the 70s, I believe. And since this date, 1990, there have been at least as many, if not more, versions of the Sherman issued by Tamiya. So there's plenty of different versions out there. This particular one is still available and still running in conjunction with their later productions. Okay, so standard Tamiya artwork on the front. White box, beautiful artwork of the tank itself. Really nice detail as far as the crew figures and the equipment, and even the dents and scratches on the tank itself. Right, so that's typical Tamiya, beautiful artwork. Okay, so let's have a look at the others. On the side, top down view. This looks to be a brief history of the Sherman in Japanese. These are some of the accessories you get with the kit, as well as crew figure. And on the other side, same again, a view of the Sherman from the side, and also front and back. Okay, so that's the box. This kit cost me around just over $30 Australian, normally run at around $40 to $50 depending on who's selling it. Right, so let's see what I bought. First bag out, crew figure, spares, spare wheels, another crew figure. Second one is the turret, gun mount, etc. Third sprue out, oh sorry, third bag out, is the running gear. Okay, your bogies, your idler, your drive sprocket, and also the other crew figures, front of the tank, back of the tank, and tools, etc. You've got your top hull, bottom hull. Next bag out has your decals, another crew figure, plus hatches, etc., mud guards and things like that for the tank, and your vinyl tracks. Okay, so think about the tracks. These are Sherman tracks. So the middle bit is rubber. The outside bit here is your steel. Okay, so it was entirely rubber with steel plates either side to keep the whole thing together. Right, so it isn't just a steel track with worn shiny bits on it. Alright, so that's the track. Let's see. Instructions. As you can see, this is an ongoing one because modern Tamiya kits always have these assembly hints like cutting off parts, removing parts, etc, etc, and they always have this one. Alright, so this is in German and French, English and Japanese. It is a caution about which sprue to use to make your radio aerials. If it says PS on it, it's safe. Anything else could give off something toxic, make you sick, or, well, you'd have to breathe a lot of it to kill you, but it won't be nice. Alright, so that's the box, that's what's inside. In a second we'll have a look at the instructions and carry on from there. So let's have a look at the instructions. Just to repeat, actually it's not a repeat, this is actually a photo, sorry. It's actually a photo of the actual model completed. Here you have English, German, French, Japanese. This is a history of the Sherman, how it came about, what it was powered by, etc, etc, how you can tell the difference between an early and a late. Okay, this is, as I said, an early production one, okay, with the upgraded armour on the sides. So that armour was retrofitted in the field, and later models of the early were actually fitted with this in the factory. Okay, so that's always a handy thing to do, is just to read the history of the vehicle. Next we have got, and I'll turn that over because it's a fold out sheet. Typical modern Tamiya instructions, there is no sprue layout, okay, just the usual hints about what tools to use and your paint call outs, which are all Tamiya colors, no one else. Okay, so internet references regarding your particular preferred paint manufacturer, and away we go with the instructions. Alright, so fairly straightforward. Early type front. Okay, so this is an early production. Putting the front on the hull, okay, mounting the side protectors for the axles on the front. So you do have a choice, okay. This is the 3-piece, this is a single piece. Very early ones tended to have a 3-piece front on them, okay. So you do get choices about which one you want. Then we move to the back, right. So this does not have an engine in it, although it does have separate doors for the back of the hull. Alright, so I guess there's always a possibility of getting an aftermarket and putting an engine in there. Alright, so then we get to the drive sprockets, the idler wheels, okay, fairly straightforward. You do have polycaps, so these wheels will move. You've got color call outs throughout as you move, so that's fairly nice. Alright, fairly simple construction, fairly straightforward. Should not have a problem putting this together. Once you've built the wheels, that's enough. All the bogey systems, drive sprockets, idler wheel, all goes on the bottom hull. Then you get to the back, and again, this is your engine covers, right? They are all separate. There is no engine. You do get your 2 half crew, and this is a point where you can fit them into the hull if you want to, or leave them out. That's entirely up to you. Okay, my preference, I'd probably put them in there, but probably not till after I painted the tank. Alright, so you do get hatches with periscopes and other details, hull machine gun, headlights, tools going on the back of the hull. Okay, fairly straightforward. Tamiya kit, very easy. This is your gun breech and internals. So it does have a basic gun breech, etc. Gun mount, 1 part barrel, but the end is separate. So that will have to be put on quite straight. And then you get to your turret, and it does have internal radios in the back of the turret. Okay, so a little bit of detail inside the turret, not huge, but enough so that when you have the hatches open you can see something, which is good. Okay, commander's hatch, they can be open or closed depending on how you want it done. Then you get your commander. Okay, he goes in the top. 50 caliber machine gun goes on the side, turret goes on, hull goes on, and she's done. 11 steps, fairly straightforward, typical Tamiya, easy steps to follow, color callouts throughout, really nice and simple kit to put together, make a beautiful little tank. Okay, and then of course showed you how the tracks go together. Final tracks, I guess if you wanted to, you could replace them with aftermarkets if they're available. It does say note the direction, so just read the instructions because the tracks do go on in one particular direction. Okay, and then after you put the tracks on, mudguards. Okay, different types of stowage on the back, on the front, on the sides, etc. Mudguards and added armor. So different versions. You could make a very early one without the extra armor on the turret and the sides. You could, and this is personal choice, where you want to put that stowage, jerry cans, spare tracks, etc. These of course are put on the front to give the crew better protection against projectiles hitting the front of the vehicle. And then we get to painting. Fairly straightforward. This is overall olive drab, France, summer 1944, unit unknown, generic. This is the 5th Army in Italy, so it is camouflaged. And this is the 2nd Armoured Division, 66th Armoured Regiment, Normandy, August 1944. Okay, there you have it. Markings for 3 individual tanks, 1 generic, 2 specific divisions, Italy and France and Normandy. Okay, so that's the painting, that's the markings, that's the instructions. Let's have a look at the actual insignia. And there you have it. Okay, so usual white stars. This is the name of the tank. US Army, they did name their tanks quite frequently. And number plates, etc. Usual standard Tamiya quality and clarity. So as I said, this is an ongoing issue by Tamiya, so you will not have a problem with these particular decals. Okay, there we are. I'll give you a shot of those, and in a second we will have a look at sprues. Okay, so let's have a look at the sprues. I think we'll start off with the lower hull, which is fairly straightforward. It's a standard box hull, bolt detail on the sides, not much detail, some ribs on the bottom. Okay, fairly plain, but you do have bolt detail here and also at the back here for your idler wheel. Alright, so inside is the copyright for the hull, and I don't know if I can get that. 1987. Oh, sorry guys, 1987. As I said, there have been previous issues of the Sherman. This one is using the hull from the 1987 issue. Okay, so there's the top, and yeah, you can just see that there. Really nice cast detail. Okay, turn that around so you can see, if I can get it in focus. There you go, that's your factory cast number for the hull. Okay, so there's some really nice detail there, nice weld detail, nice cast detail. Okay, really nice, goes all the way to the back. Okay, that's actually quite beautiful. I do like that. And this also has a copyright. As you can see, it says 1995. Okay, so this is a 1995 hull on the top and a 1987 hull on the bottom. Okay, so let's have a look at these two. Right, so these two are exactly the same. These are your wheels. Okay, these are your drive sprockets, etc. and one of your crew members. So first off, let's have a look. This does have a copyright on it. Let's see if I can get it in focus for you. 1995. Okay, this is the wooden beam that goes across the front. You've got some bags, extra helmets, spare wheels, spare track, drive sprocket, and your crew figure. And he seems quite happy. He's got a big smile on his face. So the detail is really nice. Typical Tamiya. Zero flash on that. Okay. Maybe a bit of cleanup around the mold lines as usual, but that's not bad at all. And yes, like I said, you do get two of these. Okay. So there will be parts for your spares box. Next, we'll have a look at the important part, the turret. Turret, gun mount, hatches, base, etc. Okay, so let's have a look. This also has a, see if I can get it in focus for you. Turn it around, it would probably help. 1995. Okay, so there's your turret. Again, beautiful cast detail on the turret. Nicely done, you will not have to do much with that. Turret hatch. That's your breech, etc. So these are your protection bars to stop the crew from wandering into the path of the breech as it recoils. There's your cast gun mantlet, barrel. That's the end of the barrel there. And mud guards and radio equipment for the back of the turret. Okay, that there is basically where your crew member sits on or stands on, fits inside the turret. Okay, so overall really nice, and like I said before, Tamiya quality. There's no flash on that I can see. Alright, so that's the turret. let's have a look at this part, front of the hull, okay, back of the tank, and parts for the, so these are the back hatches, parts for the engine. These are your front braces for the 3-part front hull, which is that thing, okay, and your mud guards. So let's have a look. Again, really nice cast texture, nice bolt detail on that, locating pins are clean, back of the hull, really nice. It is a shame it doesn't have an engine, and depending on the circumstances of how you're going to display this, you might want to check and see if there is an aftermarket engine kit for this. I'm not sure if there is or not. Let's have a look at your commander. Yeah, so there are later kits, Mini Art, Master Box, Dragon, etc. US Tank Crews, but it just depends on if you want to spend the extra money. Okay, so next sprue, back of the tank, 1-piece front hull, commander figure, driver figure, although you already got 2, 50 caliber, tools, headlight protectors, hooks, etc., bit of stowage, spare track. Okay, so let's have a look. This is 1987 for this particular sprue. I can already see there's cleanup required for the mold lines on the commander and that spare figure there. There is a wood grain texture on those boxes, which is really nice. So overall, and that's a nice looking 50 cal. The tools, the handles are not too heavy. That is your hull machine gun. Okay, not too bad, although I would have loved to be that a movable one. And the front of the hull. So let's have a look, see. And that does have a fairly smooth cast texture. So depending on which particular M4 early you're modeling, you get to use this particular front hull and that particular back, or the others. Okay, so that's entirely your choice. Alright, so that's those pieces. Let's have a look at the last sprue in this kit, which is also copyright 1987. This is your bogies, your idlers, your road wheels, and your drive sprockets. Okay, so this is all your running gear. The other drive sprockets were spare parts for the front of the tank or wherever you wanted to mount them. As you can see on those bogies, so we can get that in focus, they do have a cast number on the bogies, which is really nice. Really nice detail on the idlers and the spring detail and nice bolt detail. So that's really actually quite nice, and they will come up quite well with a nice wash or something, just to pick out all those bolt details. So that is your running gear. And the only other things I've got to show you is the tracks and these. These are your polycaps, alright, so that your wheels actually move. And the tracks are standard vinyls. Yes, you could, sorry, get that in focus. You could replace those with aftermarkets if you wanted to, but depending on how much money you want to spend. Okay, I'm pretty sure if you're going to go to that expense, you could probably pick up a Dragon M4 Sherman that has individual track lengths already. Okay, so there's the vinyls. And that's your M4 Sherman early. Okay, really nice looking kit. Tamiya kit, easy build. Build this in a weekend, paint it up, and then spend your time dressing up with stowage and detailing, as far as drilling out the whole machine gun, drilling out the 50 caliber, just the minor details that just make a model pop. Anyway guys, I hope you got something from this one. I know there's been a few reviews on this one, but since I just picked it up, I thought, what the hell, why not? I hope you did enjoy watching this one. Thank you for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And as usual, take it easy, and I'll see you later.